Welcome, everyone, to Faded Worlds Changeling the Lost. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Yeah, I'm excited. Uh, I guess I've mentioned this before, uh, that while uh, the this version of the rules is completely new to me, uh, back oh um, over a decade ago, I played a bunch of Changeling live action. So um, there's some nostalgia to this for me, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely.
The old Changeling the Dreaming.
Yes, yes.
So that was completely different then.
Well, a lot of the there's a lot of setting elements that are different. Like uh, like in that there isn't this thing about escaping from the true Fae. It was just like you're playing Fae. Um,
Yeah.
uh, but it had all the World of Darkness dots. Um, um, and
Still
enough
playing
enough similarities
Fae-like
that I am
characters.
nostalgic. But yeah, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I just said that still playing uh, like Fae characters.
Yeah,
Because changelings are sort of more or less like in that direction too, even if the actual Fae end up being like they'd be more alien in this one.
mm-hmm. Well, I like that take on it too. Like
Yeah.
the differences that exist are, I think, are all really good differences. Like uh, a great way to revamp things and make it more personal, have more of a psychological edge to it, like, and just the idea of the Fae being, more truly alien is also like super cool.
Yeah.
And I've been saying for a while now that fairies were the original Eldritch horrors.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this game gets that.
Sure. Um, so, Spook, our illustrious
Hi.
storyteller.
Hello.
Will it bother you if I realized just now that you are like off-brand Adam?
Oh, well, I don't know.
Shit.
Is that mean or is that nice?
Like just
Like-
looking at you, like
Hang on.
like you got the hair and kind of the beard.
There we go. Now I'm Economy Adam Coble.
Okay.
Okay, let's analyze the menu screen of this game.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like there's some graffiti.
Should I? Should I? Do you want me to take the reins of control from you, Brad?
By all means, yes. Like, well, I don't know if we're going to be. I mean, I know that the campaign is like going to be in Bristol, UK, which is up on the up on the landing screen. But yeah, by all means, take it away. Tell where are we starting. You'll probably have us set scenes, but let's find out. Go ahead.
Sure. So, you guys were doing a thing in Arcadia. You'd made an escape. You might be like fresh out the door. You might have been living in the hedge for a while. I don't know. That's up to you guys. But where it begins is you are all falling. You're not sort of aware of each other just from wherever you last were in your strange, dreamlike consciousness. You're falling through a sky of green grass, and as you fall, you see like a ground coming towards you, and the ground is kind of like a blue sea. And as like you hit the water shatters, kind of like glass, and various kaleidoscope, multicolored fragments go shooting off in all directions, and then everything fades to blackness. And then, as light begins to return to your eyes, you hear a small kind of trickling noise in the sort of far corner of your consciousness. And as you guys open your eyes, returning to the real world, you see what you see on the splash page with the addition of a strange, shadowy figure urinating against the tree. If we could go around and just describe ourselves as the three of you kind of see each other, kind of like sprawled on the ground on this little patch of verge. You find yourself on. Brad, if you could start.
Okay. Um. Well, I think that uh well, okay. So I guess I'll start with my mask rather than my meme. Although um
Yeah, I think we will all see each other's mean.
okay. Um cuz we did like black out in the last bit of the fall, right? Or no, cuz
I mean, it's hard to
say.
tell.
Okay.
I mean, we can start rolling dice if you want to know if you actually lost consciousness or not, but maybe is your feeling.
Okay.
Blacked out
so
or scrambled.
yeah. So the reason I ask is that I think sort of reflexively, um, I would probably uh, you know, while escaping the last bit of the hedge, have taken on a guise that's like appropriate for you know not being noticed as someone who as you know someone who doesn't belong where they are uh, there, but it might not fit here. Um, rather than like my normal mean. Um, so
Okay, we'll say for thematic ease that you have sort of factory reset upon landing, and you're sort of at your default state.
oh, okay. Uh, so maybe fucked up. Uh, uh, first off, my mask is of uh, this uh, man with uh, sort of grayish skin, sort of a very fixed set to his expression. Uh, it's not so much blank as like uh, a, just a little bit tense, but like has this like waxy, unmoving quality to it. Um, and then with like brown hair, a little bit graying, um, probably late 30s, a little bit nondescript. Uh, and then the mean is again a male figure in a business suit, but in uh, where my head should be uh, is like the center of a swarm of butterflies of various sorts. the swarm does spread out a fair distance from me, and the uh, the interaction of the various types of butterflies uh, uh, gives like weird, almost subliminal suggestions like disturbing images of like it for the it like forms like brief paintings of uh, uh, people being tortured, people like screaming like they're trapped, um, uh, just like blood dripping as like one like red butterfly flies down at sort of the speed you'd expect blood to drip from, stuff like that.
Cool. And wild?
And what?
Oh, and I was like, cool. And then wild slash Valisala.
Nice.
Oh, please say hunt, so I because otherwise I
Oh,
would
okay, sure, sure.
not like realize that I'm being addressed. Um. Yeah. So. Uh, well, I mean, for us three looking around, um, you'd see a a woman like young, like who looks rather disheveled, with like heavy like some sort of wounds, like pretty much all over where it's visible, especially around the ankles, um, and like just like some of them seem to be bleeding or some are not. It like sort of scribbling on the skin. Uh, for for others, like they just see a well just a girl who looks like she's had a rough couple of days. Um, there's some bruising, but like not that much more. So that last is the mask. But she looks rather normal. Um, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Cool. And then Paige.
So, uh, when our friends look at Paige, they would see what at first glance might look like just a perfectly normal, very pretty young lady. Though upon further inspection, it becomes apparent that her joints are like toy joints instead of person joints, and she has this almost polished wood texture to her skin. Those who see her mask would only notice that her skin seemed much smoother than you'd expect human skin to be usually, and that maybe her eyes are just a little bigger than they should be. This is just a little too symmetrical.
Okay, great. So yeah, the three of you are kind of like sprawled roughly on this little verge, this little patch of grass. Um, over sort of to stage left is like a motorway, lots of cars rushing by. In front of you is kind of cul-de-sac, loads of little houses and stuff. This is kind of from the perspective of the camera. Behind you, more houses and stuff like that, and then to your side is like more kind of greenery, kind of like a park and a river. and yeah, basically on the tree that's just in front of you, there's a gentleman urinating. They're about average height, maybe like 5'8" or so. They're wearing quite brightly colored clothing, like sort of really bright rainbow colored hoodie with like a leather jacket on with like bright colored trainers. And yeah, they appear as a sort of normal human to you guys, and they sort of like quickly like look over their shoulder and they're like, "Oh my god, I don't believe. Did I? Are you? Am I?" Urgh.
Uh, I think I like scramble up and start uh, backing away. I guess from sort of from all three of them, although my attention is focused more on uh, Paige and Vasya. Um, I say, I don't know who you are, but I'm not going back.
Uh, I imagine Paige is probably somewhat sprawled on the ground. I think she's wearing like a pale pink baby doll, and that's probably it. And for, I guess, comedic effect, the process of sprawling has probably caused it to be all bunched up on her upper torso, and there's just like a, a bush or a flower making sure that we don't need any sensor bars. And yeah, she like shakes her head and stands up and like smooths out her nightgown and kind of tilts her head at you as like, I doubt any of us want to go back, though I don't know who you are either.
So as you stand up, the man kind of he seems a bit awkward, and he kind of like tries to like do kind of like oh, am I oh, I'm not sure I meant to see that. And he's like, oh my god, I'm like really, I've had some very powerful substances that I've been growing, and I sometimes think things, and then you're here now, and that's great. Good to have you here. Um, I need to phone people if you guys can uh, or actually stay there. There, great. I've just got to talk amongst yourselves. Yeah. And then he gets
Nope.
out this. Now I kind of have to put a pause on. Are you guys all in your human lives like from modern times, or do I have to be like, he pulls a strange black tablet from his pocket. It glows with
I
an
mean,
ethereal light.
even if we're not, I'd rather you just say what it is, and the people who need to interpret it as a weird thing do so.
Well, yeah, he
Uh,
pulls out a phone and begins tapping and puts it to his ear.
Actually, while he's still tapping, uh, I'm gonna do a thing. Uh,
What thing would you like to do?
uh, do not move. Do not proceed. You, my friend, are losing it. And should you contact your friends, the authorities, they will know you have lost it. You will wind up institutionalized, I think.
He's like, whoa, the dose must have been higher than I thought. Um, Vasia is like still like has like gotten up like to like hands and knees like to like spit some grass out of her mouth, and unlike Paige, she does not have like any clothes with her. Like it doesn't seem that those either they had to be discarded through like in the hedge, or well they were ripped away. And like she's like seems to be like touching her face and like feeling it, and then there it becomes apparent, at least well to other changelings here, that she's missing the uh, the nameless finger, or the ring finger on her left hand, and it's like just like seems to be looking around and doesn't seem to have taken in anything that has been said here so far.
So as this is going on, he seems like you hear like half the conversation. He say things like, "Well, I know, well, I didn't mean to, hang on," and then he like does like one of these. He's like, then he looks at Brad and he's like, fairest, the other fair. Look, I don't know. This isn't in my remit. Okay, okay,
So,
sure. Okay.
oh, so he does continue to like dial and start to talk to somebody.
Sure, he seems like he's he kind of like looks at you oddly and like really like deeply furrows his brows as you're saying those things, but it doesn't appear to have much effect on him.
Hmm.
So, so Vasilisa looks like troubled. Is that accurate?
She looks like she isn't fully like yet realized the situation, like though she's like getting there. Um,
I think Paige probably doesn't even notice what this guy in a hoodie is saying because she's too busy going over to try and like help Vasilisa. If you
What
were
does that
still
look
on the
like?
ground, she'd be like help you up, and otherwise.
oh, and you come, and she's like, and like, what do you try to do?
Are you on the ground still?
Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
probably
So
like sort of.
she'd like extend a hand and be like, "Here, let me help you up."
I no, I refuse the offer. I need no gifts, and and just like backs away from you a little, and like while on ground, and sort of gets up, um, and like glances like to both sides. They're like looking okay. Uh,
So the gentleman hangs up the phone and turns back to you all. He's like, "Look, I'm sorry. I think I might have like made you all from clay, or possibly brought you here from somewhere else. I'm not 100%. We're in Bristol. This is like my um domain. I don't really like concepts of ownership, but it's kind of. I'm Dave, by the way. Hi. I just phoned my friend Calypso. She's going to come and take care of you guys. I think she's of your kin.
What do you mean by take care of?
Oh, like, give you somewhere to sleep.
When he said he might have made us out of clay, poked her arm to make see if it was still the same he expected it to be.
I could make you roll perception, but yeah, your arm appears as you recall it. Um, he's like, I'm sort of uh, uh, trying to establish uh, some new old ideas. Anyway, terribly sorry if you were like in some sort of dreamlike paradise that I tore you from it. All this is some sort of coincidence, but I'm told that they're anomalous.
When he when he says uh, that by take care he means like give us a place to sleep, uh, I am looking very hard for any tells, any indication that he might be lying.
Cool. Give me like wits and empathy. We'll go with like -3.
Okay. Uh, can I use a subterfuge at some penalty? 'Cause,
Yeah, sure. You can do a subterfuge.
because I have no empathy, but I do. Oh, that. Yeah, okay. Um, but I have a thing about being lied to. Anyway, okay, so it's normal chance sheet roll. Is that correct?
Yeah, generally speaking.
Uh,
Would you know how? Is there a way to add difficulty on the sheet?
Uh, there's generally speaking there is no difficulty in second edition on like if it's a contested roll, then both roll uh, and the highest amount of successes wins. Otherwise, one success wins or like succeeds.
Okay, cool. Well, just roll it then, Brad.
okay. Um, and what is the thing when you're specialized in it? Do you
You
One
get
more.
+1.
more like okay? Wow.
Oh my, well, that's great. One. Yeah, they appeared to be truthful.
Hmm.
It's rolling 9 again, but damn. 9 dice. Wow.
Yeah. Uh, well, yeah. When I say it's a specialty, it's because
Yeah, yeah,
it's a specialty.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave seems like they're being legit with you.
Interesting. So you said something about wanting to make a difference.
Oh, it's not really involving you. I'm trying to understand people's needs more.
For what purpose?
To better communicate ideas and emotions.
Interest.
I, uh, I like your head, by the way. It's quite beautiful.
Uh, think I nod in response, which is probably not like I
Flutter,
don't know what the hell that means. Or yeah, what the gesture translates to without a proper head. Uh, you seem like a decent sort.
I'm
How
trying.
odd. I don't remember much of that, even before.
Well, I prefer not to make sort of judgments on decency. Anyway, look, I'm getting into this whole thing. Look, do you have a phone? No, of course you don't have a phone. I thought you might have a phone. Do you have a phone?
Uh, I think not. Like we're, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if you had a phone on you when you went in, there might be one.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I probably didn't even then.
Could I? He kind of like goes into a pocket. He's like, "Oh, of course I can." And he pulls out like three like real basic smartphones and like kind of fans them out to you guys.
What?
This is a phone.
What boon do you require in return for this?
Oh, I'm not one of those. I mean, I could like drop them on the ground and then you can pick them up. I mean, I don't know how. I'm not. That's not me.
Very
Please just
well.
one.
Do so.
Cool. He goes to like drop it on the ground, but if you guys want to just take it from his hand, that's fine too. Anyway, my number's in there, I think. Oh no, it's not. Okay, now it is. Yeah, my number's in there. My name is Dave. It's the only number in there. Oh, I should put Calypso. Okay, Calypso's number's in there too. Anyway, I'm Dave. I'm uh, this is kind of my city, I guess. Sort of, I'm going to protect you all, sort of, baby. I'm going to try.
What manner of being are you, Dave?
That's a personal question that I'm going to deflect.
uh, you said you were not one of us, yet there is some manipulation with the phones to add addresses without touching. If I
Oh,
have not been I do not know how long I have been
oh yes.
away.
My name's Dave. I can do anything I want.
Yeah. Vasily goes over and picks up one of the phones and just like taps it a couple times. Seems to like get okay. This one works this way, and tries to call her the number that was to her house 3 years ago. Though, yeah, 3 years
Uh,
ago at least in in actual time.
Sure. So after about like 4 rings, a voice picks up and says hello, and it's your voice.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And this is the thing. So Vasia got taken when she was 6, but only 3 years passed. So this girl would be 10, or like 9, right? That
So
like
it's
so
like,
you feel like a child's voice say hello.
and then like you hear like another voice be like, "Oh, I've told you don't do that," and like you hear like the kind of the sound of movement, and like a slightly raspy woman's voice is like, "Ah, sorry about like that. Hello, uh,
Uh,
hello."
and she's like kind of standing there like with her mouth open, and then hangs up.
Um, uh, anyway, we should probably move just in case I didn't do this, if that makes sense. Calypso's on the way. If you guys don't mind, I mean, I'm gonna make you come with me if you say no, but I'm trying to be polite and make it seem as if you came with me willingly because we're such good friends already.
Oh dear. Uh,
We need
Yeah,
to go.
I don't
That's
think
what was
Paige
what
likes that.
says, and like what's it goes to this Dave and it's like, will you give me the jacket for the phone? And like I like offer the phone.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't. Do you mean you need clothes?
Yeah, like she doesn't have any.
So he kind of like waves a hand, and you're wearing like his outfit.
Okay, sure.
Is that I don't not watched this season of Project Runway, so I'm a little like I'm not really in the headspace. So I just Einstein had this thing where you only have so much like brain juice in a day, and if you like make decisions like what you're going to wear, that's like a little bit of your brain juice that could be used to like do something else. And like I'm trying to do something else quite a lot. Um, uh, this is really not. This is outside. I'm just gonna. And he kind of like clicks his fingers, and you're in like a small kind of cafe. It's quite busy. There's people coming and going. There's like a big chalkboard up on one of the walls, and it's got two flags drawn on it in sort of like overlapping each other in chalk. There's various baristas and stuff toing and froing. He's like, okay, you'll know Calypso when you see her if you get, you know, what I mean. Uh,
Yeah,
anyway, I'm gonna go. And he's like, sort of stands up and goes to like start shuffling off.
I think I was probably like reaching for the phone when he snapped his fingers and the scene changed. And I freeze.
I guess
Eh,
the phone is like on the table in front of you.
Okay. Uh, and so at that point, I looked to uh, Paige and Vasya and try and gauge their reaction to the scene change.
Paige is frantically like trying to reestablish bearings, look around, where am I? Who's here?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the cafe. It seems to be quite a kind of fruity crowd. Lots of people with brightly coloured hair and facial piercings and stuff like that. And as you look around, you see there are a number of what appear to be non-humans in the cafe, and Dave is sort of going to like turn and leave, and then you hear this like high pitched shout like Dave, 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 and this woman comes like running up to Dave and like kind of like jumps on him and like wraps her arms around him and like kind of like picks him up a little bit. He's like, "Oh, not a hugger, not a hugger. Oh, I could stop this, but I'm fond of you, but still not." And he kind of like palms her face off, and he's like, "It's them. You probably know that. Are you? You. Um, I'm gonna." And then he just disappears. And you're left facing a young woman. She's got like a black apron on, wearing like black leggings and boots that leave like that little bit of shin, about like 4 inches of shin. Just wearing like simple like black tank top. You She looks quite human, but then as she like turns to look at you, you see her eyes are like these like large open kind of like holes in her face, and you can see like the eternal void of eternal void and endless blackness upon blackness upon blackness. As you gaze into her, she's got like a long red hair, and she kind of turns to you and she's like, "Oh, hello. I'm Calypso. That was Dave. He's great. I'm so very sorry for you all, but it's going to be okay."
Is it?
Maybe. Probably. Yes, yes. We're gonna go with yes. Yes.
So does this place have a like an overall very different feel from the hedge? Like, can I since the scene change, can I I think that there's some reason to assume that uh, that I only thought that I escaped from the hedge for a few minutes, and now I'm finding that I haven't. Um, unless there's like something about the feel of the place to make me uh, to give the impression otherwise.
Yeah. Other than the strange patrons, the kind of like surroundings seem to all be, the laws of physics are in effect. You can see out the window there's like cars driving by on the street.
Big iron cars that presumably wouldn't be in the hedge, or no, that's still possible there.
Yeah, modern 2018 vehicles. I mean, it appears to your mundane senses to be the real. I shall phrase it like that.
Though to be fair, the hedge can look like anything.
Okay. Uh,
So are these
wait.
patrons all like fey in nature? Is that something we can tell?
No, there's maybe like maybe 20 to 30 people in there, with maybe like 4 or 5 people who look overtly Fey-like.
Okay, but
It's
there's a lot.
mostly the staff as well, who are who appear otherworldly.
All right,
Okay,
so yeah.
so the patrons are mostly normal looking.
Hmm.
Awesome. I want to know how the clientele of this cafe react to the sudden presence of a very pretty young lady in essentially a nightgown.
You're probably getting there's some lady people who are definitely giving you occasional glances. You can roll me some dice if you'd like to gain further knowledge of that. But yeah, you're definitely noticing a few looks upon you. You're kind of tucked away in a booth a little bit, but as people walk past, they see you occasionally.
Mm-hmm. What I'm specifically hoping to determine is if there's anybody giving me like desirous looks.
Sure. I mean, would you like to do a check-in for whose check-in role?
I mean, really, I just want to harvest the emotion. I don't necessarily care about. Just want to sort of bask in the desire.
Sure. I think you probably have to create a bit more of a scene for it to be like tangible glamour. You don't really
Alright.
feel any like direct. You've not kind of yeah, it's been kind of like passing glances rather than like an intense, focused. No one's like honed in on you at this point.
Yeah.
But Calypso sort of pulls out her little notepad and she's like, can I at least get you guys a drink?
And so Vasha ignores that and just like, who are you two? Talking to the two other people sitting here now.
Yeah, I break away from observing the crowd and I'm just like, I'm, well, I suppose you can call me Paige now. That's the name the little mushroom offered. I liked it well enough. Yes, Paige Manette. And yourself?
What? You're. And like, I'm like sort of looking and so you essentially look like there's like you can see the joints and like that like the doll like elements, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm like clearly, uh, you know, like just staring and like like the eyes are like going to the like the elbows and the wrists, and it's like, Vasilisa, what about you? And
Well, names have power. I will not make a gift of mine. Already, more information has been communicated about me than I would prefer.
right, and like,
Sorry.
and yes, and she says right, and she takes a napkin and starts tearing pieces of it away. And seems to like be focusing on that.
I think I know what you're doing. And I like it.
So Calypso kind of disappears for a little bit and then returns with 3 slices of cake and puts them down in front of each of you. And she's like, "It's okay. It's vegan cactus cake." And then like disappears off again to like deal with another table.
Paige looks at the other two like, does that is that important? Do we there
I
something
would
I don't
not.
know about meat?
I suspect a trick. But that is not unusual.
I think Paige looks at you and is just like, I get the feeling you usually suspect a trick.
Precisely. Occasionally, I am surprised when I find something is not a ruse, but not so often. Perhaps things will be different here, but we cannot be sure where here is.
Yeah. Paige just looks around again and is like, it looks like a cafe.
And yeah, and then Vasilisa speaks up and is like, "It's the real world. I already tried to change it. Doesn't change."
And did the other place always change at your whim?
No, but it can.
Hmm.
Yeah, Paige is like, well, the hedge changed a lot whenever anyone felt something, usually. I wasn't that great at forcing it, but it happened whether you wanted it to or not, usually. This does seem more stable, and the people look, well, not like us.
Perhaps.
Cool. So as you reach
Well,
this lull in the conversation, Calypso reappears that she has discarded her apron, and she kind of goes. In my mind, Brad is like alone on one side because that's how we're set up in Discord. So they kind of like go to you, Brad. They kind of look at you and they're like, "Shuffle bum,
what?
shuffle your little bum."
Very well. Um, I'll start to head out.
Oh, she's like, "Oh no, no, no! I just wanted to," and she goes like sit beside you, so you guys are like two and two. So she kind of like
Very.
puts her head, she kind of like rests her head in her fist, and she's like, "So, wow! I mean, what a day for you guys! Ah, I mean, once again, I'm really very sorry about that."
So, you are the welcoming committee, is it?
Sure, yes. Let us say that.
Very well. We have been having a bit of a philosophical discussion, and I am curious, uh, in your opinion, what is this place?
Oh, well, for me, this place is hell on earth. minimum wage customer service.
uh, and we are you maintaining that we are uh, clear of Arcadia, of the hedge?
Oh, well, this is the real as far as I know. I guess. It's Bristol, which is shit, so, get used to that. There's nowhere else you can go, so you might as well enjoy it being shit, I suppose. I'll get you set up at a site, probably Telepathic Heights. I think that's free at the moment. Don't get excited by the name. It's also shit, and it stinks of piss.
Okay. I'm gonna do another uh, looking for tells and whatnot. Even though I as a player am convinced that it's on the level.
Yeah, you see no effort of lie, and you see an effort on her part to, be truthful.
Perhaps.
I mean, you don't have to if you don't want.
Do you, I have a
So,
question.
so while this is all going on, like, Vasya has been, I think, like, has transitioned to folding like napkins from the table into flowers, and it seems like the finished ones that she's putting aside seem to be flowers now. Um, so I'm wondering, would like folding paper, would the appropriate tools just be your hand? Because I feel like it would be. Because if I have the appropriate tools, I can just do it.
Yeah, I don't, you don't require a pocket origami kit, so yeah, I'm
Right.
cool with that.
So she seems to be like just doing that.
I have a
Focused on it.
system-y question real quick. Do you think that little transportation we just had might be a clarity breaking point?
I will say that it was carefully done in a way to as not
To
be
not.
disruptive.
Okay,
Yes.
fair enough.
All right.
Yeah.
They're a very considerate forced teleporter. I mean that they are.
So, what was it Calypso just offered us, or was she talking specifically to our butterfly man?
No, she seems to be talking to the group, and she was saying she was going to set you up at a site called Telepathic Heights, which is shit and stinks of piss.
As lovely as that sounds, I think. Well, I don't know, but I think perhaps we could do better.
Yeah, Paige, I think, nods and is like, yes, it does not, not to disparage your hospitality, but does not sound like the greatest of accommodations. And she's like scoping the room for trying to figure out who is the most attracted to her.
Cool. Would you like to give me a roll?
Yeah. Do you think wit's empathy?
Yeah, I think empathy or investigation, and yeah, wits.
I'm gonna use empathy.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
would this count as a perception roll for adding the bonus from maximum clarity?
I'm going to go with yes.
Look at all them dices.
Yeah, you see, there's let me just I'm just gonna would you like to roll the luck die, or should I roll the luck
Does it make a difference?
die? It depends on, that's like a philosophy thing, but not really.
Okay, then you go ahead.
Yeah, there's like a lady person off to one corner. She's been drinking coffee and having like a bean burger. And yeah, you see, she's been kind of like, yeah, looking over to you every now and again. And she, like, at one point, you see her kind of like, do like a low look to be like, is there anything? Oh, okay. And yeah, she's definitely been looking at you frequently.
Yeah, I think I try to like subtly shift my weight so that it's not apparent that I'm trying to make the baby doll ride up a little higher, but that's absolutely what I'm doing.
Jeez, what am I even gonna make you roll for this? Is it persuade? Is it expression? Do you have an idea?
Is it dexterity?
It's I feel
And
manipulation and something rather than dex, but I would allow dex.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Persuade and expression don't matter because they're both one dot.
Great, just roll manip +1 then, or dex if you'd like to haggle with me. Haggling is fine and encouraged.
I will go with dex to emphasize the subtle physical nature of the
Mhm.
task. And I guess we'll just use expression. Did it. I like this sheet.
Oh wow, she she critically fails resisting your
So
skirt line shenanigans.
I don't know if you want to house rule it to be more like first edition, but the second edition rules you only dramatic fail either a 1 on a chance die, or you can opt to turn any failure into a dramatic failure in exchange for a beat, or NPCs get a scene only point of willpower.
Oh, I like that. That is good. I especially like the beat thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will give her a point of willpower. So I guess she I guess she approaches you upon this. She kind of like rocks up to your table, and she does the thing where she comes over the table and she starts talking to Calypso because she kind of knows her. And so she's kind of using that as like her in. She's like, "Oh, hi there, Helen. I've not seen you in such a long time. How are you? Who are these new friends of yours?" She kind of like looks expectantly at you guys. And Calypso is like, "Oh my god, you just fucking called me Helen in front of the new kids." Like, "Oh, hi, yeah, no, it's great. We were just going actually, but oh, it's so good to see you."
Yes, we are just new friends of Helen.
Think.
Oh, let's if you all don't mind, let's take a little break.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I I will try to make it relatively quick, but I need to feed some critters and such. So we will be back shortly. Please stick around and/or look for and click on the second half of this exciting first episode.